everyone, this is Marizo Gabuya Fran from Art Ventures with M&N. For my first video, I'd like to share 3 things that you should know about me. First, I'm a mom to 2 amazing kids. I have a girl who's 19 years old, her name is Tiffany, and I have a 14-year-old boy named Anton. I'm an artist. I grew up attracted to art till now that I'm 47 years old. It's my way of life and I breathe art. Well, but I consider myself a self-taught artist. Also, I'm a self-confessed plantita since this lockdown has started. I'd like to share with you my art journey. I started doodling, sketching, experimenting with different art materials maybe when I was around 8 years old. I think that was because I was influenced by both my mom and dad. They were really into, art. They were both art enthusiasts. They also love drawing and painting. It's something that I just love doing as a hobby. Till around 10 years ago, maybe around 8 years ago, when my batchmates from Maryknoll came up with an exhibit in GSIS. It's about women artists who actually, show their emotions and showcase their passions through art. So I was part of that exhibit. But at that time, I was really drawn to still life or anything that I see around me that would capture my attention. I would try to recreate it in watercolor. Watercolor is the first medium that I worked on, and I immediately fell in love with it. And up to now, it's my favorite medium. But the subjects before that I was attracted to were just everyday random things still life, and I would but I was always drawn to the human figure. Until around 5 years ago, I was actually drawn, maybe I could say magnetized by divine images. And I'm quite sure and I'm positive that it was because of my cancer journey that started 5 years ago. I had to express my deepest feelings, and it all showed in my art. So I would clearly paint Mama Mary, Jesus, all mother and child paintings, the Madonna. I would paint Padre Pio, the saints, Saint Joseph. Every time I would paint these images, I get strength. Most of the time, they inspire people around me, and that's my driving force. When people would ask for paintings, even copies, I would just give them copies for them to be inspired and let the paintings talk to them. Because most of the paintings that I create have different messages. They're it would speak to you in a different manner as it speaks to me when I'm in front of it. So I am actually, it completes me every time someone would say, oh, your painting it's it's talking to me, it sends a message, and for me that's my purpose. So I would like to create art that would give that sense of meaning. So that's actually something that's spearheading all my projects now, all my paintings, all my works. I'm not painting purely divine images. I would also paint portraits of individuals, families. I would paint, some people commission me to paint their favorite sport. Some people would ask me to paint their favorite flower arrangement. So it actually depends. But as I said, I am up to now really drawn to the human figure, the face of especially Mama Mary. I I would paint her in her different angles, in her different moods. I would paint the Filipina Mama Mary, and I would paint Our Lady of Guadalupe from Mexico. And of course, I would paint, we're devotees of our Mother Perpetual Help. I would paint them, and each painting would come up with something different. Come up with a specific message for me, and I hope that it does continuously to also to those who view it or own it, and what else? Can you imagine me even some of my bags that are like, just in, hanging in my closet, I would just randomly paint Mama Mary on it, or Mother and Child, or I remember one time we had a painting session with Heart Evangelista in the Corridor of Hope in St. Luke's in Bonifacio. She was so happy to teach all the cancer patients how to paint on bags, and it was such a great experience. I mean, as an artist, that's what's actually would boost your mood and your desire to even paint more, is when you see people around you get inspired by your work. That completes you. I mean, there goes your purpose, right? So, this video, I mean, me really coming up with something like this, it's more of like, I want to unleash the artist in everyone, because just like me, I didn't go to art school. I didn't attend formal lessons. If the passion is there, if the desire to learn is there, and if you really, it sparks joy. It doesn't matter if it's abstract, or if it's, if it's modern, or if it looks like it's a Renaissance painting, traditional, contemporary. It doesn't really matter, as long as you express yourself through it. This is my first painting for the year. Painting of Mama Mary in her most peaceful state, her very tranquil look, to give us a sense of peace for this coming year. This is a pastel painting, and aside from, I would also paint still life. This was like from a demo I attended for the pastel convention. So you don't stop learning. I would even like attend. I would watch videos to improve myself, and really find something that you're drawn to. It's more of like, you just have to find it. It doesn't happen overnight. I mean, I've been painting for how many years? More than 10 years. And I still, sometimes I feel like, am I gonna start with square one? I think I like this and I like that. And all of a sudden I say, oh, it's just something that like just a passing fancy. So I'd go back to my old techniques, my old subjects. So there are no rules. So nobody can tell you you're supposed to, make the eyes this big, or make, you can, that if that's your style, that's your style. So art is really subjective. So nobody can tell if it's good or not. It's just up to you. It's actually the process while painting. That is actually what makes you feel alive. And that's the beauty of being, just like music. That's the beauty of being an artist. No? You when you encapsulate yourself into that moment and that feeling, it's like you're oblivious. You have like, it's like you have your own bubble. I mean, every time I paint here at home, like nobody can talk to me. So I find actually more peaceful and quiet time when it's nighttime. But it's not good since I get to be up till 3 a.m. So I try to adjust it. But you can't be distracted because at any point that your mood changes, your painting would shift also into that current mood because your painting would always speak of your emotions. I'm actually contented that most of the paintings that I actually created were done in a positive mood because I don't find myself inspired to paint if I'm like gray, if I feel like depressed or lonely. I wouldn't paint. I don't paint whenever I get lonely or sad or depressed because I know that the outcome wouldn't be nice. But of course, you won't always be so hyper and excited all the time you're painting, but the degree of emotions is there. Like if you see my strokes are bolder here, maybe because I was kind of hyper and excited, or the colors are more vibrant, maybe because I was so cheerful at that time, or if the colors are so are muted, and then you can see some luminosity in the choice of colors. So maybe because I am feeling a little bit like romantic at that time, or something like I feel like contented, and or when you're but the secret in my paintings pala I'd like to share with everyone is before I start on my work, I pray because that's how I draw inspiration. Because if you ask the Lord to energize you for His work, you have to ask His help. Because what we have right now, it's not ours. So we ask them to help you, come up with something that's pleasing to everyone, pleasing to His eyes. And of course, it's gonna be, of course, pleasing to you. And then you end it and you cap the painting with a prayer of thanks too, that you're able to accomplish something. Maybe I can share with you some of my favorite paintings that I have accomplished all these years. aside from painting from paper and canvases, most of the time I would create trash to treasure projects, and that would be part of the videos that I'll be sharing with you. Uh, because I consider myself a collector of everything. Because I find beauty in everything. Even though these are the things that are really meant to be thrown in the trash, I actually find something useful for it. Um, well, there goes my problem in decluttering, because every time I see something that's like, something that looks so drab and just boring, and my imagination would just, spark, and I can imagine it looking like, you know something more like $1,000 with just adornment and a little embellishment that won't cost you a single centavo. I mean, the embellishments are just, random things you see around the house, like, your old gift wrappers, ribbons. You'd see old bottles, their old wine bottles, your jars, your canisters that are meant to be thrown. Well, I'm not saying to keep everything, but I don't think you'll have the proper storage for it. But basically, you just have to have an eye, and maybe, just come up with just let your imagination work, and then you'd actually find, some crazy thought, and then all of a sudden it turns out into something beautiful. Like this flower vase here, that was just a jar jar of pickles that I tried to embellish. Um, and since it's 2021 and productivity is an all-time high, people are just trying to reinvent themselves. So it doesn't matter if you're a musician today and tomorrow you're an artist. So, well, no one's actually stopping you to become one. So uh, it's up to you how to, develop your talents. It might be just lying there, and unleash it, and who knows, it's never too late to start. I remember, like, around 5 years ago or 6 years ago, my mom and I used to teach senior citizens in La Vista. That's a village along Katipunan. While waiting for the children to be dismissed, we would teach the senior citizens how to paint, and it gives us that sense of fulfillment when we see their finished product, and you'd see them really, having the time of their lives painting. Most of them are retired, or just grandmas in the house, and they're not doing anything, and you'd see that they're really, I could say, addicted to painting. And at what age did I start painting? 70, 80? So it's never too late to start. So that's about it. Now this is the part we've been waiting for, the demo part. As I've said earlier, I'm also a plantita, but this time I'm gonna be sharing with you some projects that are involving plants, flowers. But this time we're gonna fuse my love for plants with my love for art.
First, gather your old empty food containers, your food jars, and empty wine bottles, and clean it with soapy water, and wipe it with alcohol to remove any residue. Then look for your old wrapping papers, those with nice prints, or you can print it from nice patterns and designs online on your A4 paper. Then you can print on your sticker paper nice positive quotes, and you can stick it on these jars. And next, you also look for your old fabrics, the nice fabric remnants you have, or lace trims, your wired ribbons that you use during this Christmas season, or any trimmings that you see lying around in your sewing kit. You can use your old leather belts that are just in the closet, waiting to be used, or maybe from handles of old bags that are already slightly damaged that you can cut. And then you start cutting the stickers according to the shape you want. It's better to use transparent stickers so that you can see through inside the glass. And next, you start gathering the wrapping papers and wrap it around the jars. Try to secure it with double-sided tape or maybe hot glue gun. Then you can you see these coats are actually they give that positive vibe. I've seen a couple of nice quotes online that I used that says, "Have faith," or "What a wonderful world," "Celebrate life," "Breathe," or "God is good." There are nice. There are a lot of nice quotes that you can actually put on these charts, so that they'll do the talking first thing in the morning. You see them, and they give out that positive mood. Now bring out your embellishments. Maybe you can use foil or anything that's metallic to give it a little shimmer. Your old cords that you can just cut from your old curtains or your old clothes. Yeah, you can use the lace from there. You can also use nice textured paper that you can actually transform into a ribbon. Sometimes it's nicer sometimes to tear these pattern papers instead of cutting them. When you tear it, it gives that antique feel to it. So once you cut it cut it straight with scissors, it looks so uniform, and I don't want to say it's kind of boring, but sometimes it looks so stiff. So tearing it into irregular shapes would sometimes do the trick, make it look more romantic or more vintagey. And yeah, adding touches of these embellishments would give it a nice feel. And now your flowers, gather them, cut from your garden. But if you don't have flowers in your garden, any foliage will do. You can use dried eucalyptus stems, or maybe you have paper flowers that you can also use. If you want, you can also make use of these jars as general storage, like container for utensils or pens or your jewelry container case. And the possibilities are endless. The trick is just to let your imagination guide your hands. Okay, so I'm sure you can do it on your own, guys.
So that's about it, my dear newfound friends. Well, I'm not used to really, speaking alone. No one's really engaged in, asking me questions, like me talking in front of the camera. But I just hope that you get something from this, and I'm so excited to share with you what I know, so that you can also enjoy art. I hope you guys learn a little something from me. That's why we call it Art Ventures. Let's get on with our adventures. Till our next video. This is Marriage of the Buya Fran, and I wish you a great week ahead.